Thank you for this opportunity to speak this evening. Every resident in District 3, which includes Stokesdale, has been disenfranchised by the Guilford County Board of Education.
Amen.
So allow me to explain. In November of 2022, Mr. Pat Tillman, who was our Board of Education District 3 representative, vacated his school board seat when he was elected to the county commissioner seat. Because Mr. Tillman is a Republican, the school board seat is to be filled by another Republican nominated by the Guilford County Republican Party. That legal nominee is Mr. Michael Logan. Mr. Logan is a 26-year teacher with Guilford County Schools. He has an impeccable record with GCS and was named Teacher of the Month in September 2022 by Carolina Teachers Alliance. During his career as an effective and caring teacher, he has touched the lives of over 2,500 students and their families through his CTE classes. Mr. Logan has fostered long-term relationships with many teachers, principals, and administrators throughout Guilford County, which gives him insight on how he can best serve his fellow educators. Mr. Logan and his wife Pam raised 2 children who attended Guilford County schools, and therefore he believes in strong parental involvement. Mr. Logan's unique perspective and experience as a 26-year GCS teacher is invaluable to the Board of Education. Mr. Logan is also a lifetime Republican who has selflessly served in multiple roles with the Guilford County Republican Party. He has worked tirelessly to get conservative candidates, including Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson, elected to office. Mr. Logan has held several leadership roles within the Guilford County GOP, including Chair of District 3 and President of the Men's Republican Club. Through his work with the Republican Party, he has interacted with thousands of voters in the district and in Stokesdale, and garnered loyal support from residents in Summerfield, Oak Ridge, Stokesdale, and Greensboro. Now, according to law, the seat vacated by Mr. Tillman was to be filled by the Guilford County Republican Party Executive Committee's nominee. The Executive Committee is comprised of the Executive Board, district chairs, and precinct chairs who are elected by party delegates. Delegates who have met certain party criteria are registered Republican voters, like myself. Therefore, by proxy of the Executive Committee, Mr. Logan was elected by voters to represent District 3 on the school board. Once Mr. Logan's nomination was submitted to the Guilford County School Superintendent, it is the duty of the Board of Education to swear him in and have him seated as the District 3 representative. However, instead of following the law as it was intended, the Democrat-led board was derelict in their duty and refused to seat Mr. Logan. The Democrat-led board continued to be derelict in their duty of seating Mr. Logan for an additional 3 months, leaving every citizen in District 3, including Stokesdale, without representation. At this point, residents in the district, as well as the Republican Party, had standing, or may have had standing, to sue the Board of Education for dereliction of duty and disenfranchising District 3 residents. But instead of taking this very expensive and drawn-out legal battle, the Republican Party looked to the North Carolina General Assembly to clear up language in the law. After the NCGA passed a new law to clear up the language in the previous law, the Republican Party, as well as Michael Logan, was led to believe he would be sworn in at the April 4th Board of Education meeting. It was inferred by the superintendent, Dr. Oakley, and the Board of Education that Mr. Logan would be seated when he and the Republican board members were told that a judge would be on site to commence the swearing in. In good faith and a belief that this board would finally do the right thing, Mr. Logan and his room full of supporters attended the April 4th board meeting. Among those guests and supporters were Mr. Logan's wife and father. Mr. Logan's father, who is an elderly man, traveled a 3-hour round trip to witness and stand by his son. Mr. Logan's father brought the family Bible, which was encased in a wooden box for Mr. Logan to take his oath of office. But instead of doing the right thing and following the law as it was intended, the Democrat-led board concocted a plan to thwart the law, deny Mr. Logan his seat for a 5th time, and instead installed a person who ultimately betrayed Mr. Logan and the Republican Party. That person is Mr. Bill Goebel. The day after the board meeting, I reached out to Mr. Goebel to give him a chance to explain his side of the story, and I'm almost done. Mr. Goebel explained at the lunch meeting at the offices of Jill Wilson's firm. Jill Wilson, by the way, is legal counsel for the Board of Education, and that Ms. Wilson showed him the PowerPoint presentation that she presented the night of the board meeting, explained how they were going to deny Mr. Logan and instead seat Mr. Goebel. That means Mr. Goebel was privy to information prior to other board members, including the Republican board members, and prior to the public at large. Mr. Goebel further confirmed in a text message that the Guilford County Board of Education Chair, Dina Hayes Green, was also in attendance at the meeting with him and Jill Wilson. Mr. Goebel shared much of this information with the Rhino Times and other news outlets. Although Mr. Goebel was nominated by the Democrats and sworn in by a judge, he is not the legal nominee of the Guilford County Republican Party, nor was he elected by voters. Since then, Mr. Goebel has been censored by the Guilford County Republican Party and for disloyalty and circumventing the proper avenues for fulfilling a vacancy on the Guilford County Board of Education. And he's also banned from attending any events sponsored by the Guilford County Republican Party and the Guilford County GOP headquarters. Are there any questions?
Did anybody ever ask Mr. Goebel to resign so you could, because he could resign? They used that loophole, what was it, 30 days or something, that they didn't act or something. I read about it.
Yeah, they did.
And,
Yes, sir.
They actually asked him to resign and let him,
Well,
then they could have took the spot. But
yes.
He wouldn't do it.
Yes, sir. Members of our local Republican Party asked Mr. Goebel to resign, as well as legislators and other Republican leaders, elected officials have asked Mr. Goebel to resign, but he refuses to do so.
Okay, I just wondered if they did.
I have a comment and a question, if I may.
Yes, sir.
From what you just said and from what I've read in the paper, it does sound like, some things are awry here, and Mr. Logan probably should be in that seat. I did watch that meeting on the Guilford County Schools YouTube, and one thing I noticed, obviously their attorney had done some work to find these loopholes, whether they're legal loopholes or not legal loopholes. That's not really for me to decide. But one observation that I had, that the majority of that board seemed to be very well informed of what was going to happen there, and almost in violation of an open meetings law. That's the way I personally, as one individual, inferred that. It also appeared that 2 of the board members had no idea that this was coming. So that was just an observation. I pretty much agree with everything that you said, and I think you did a good job of summarizing the fortunate situation our citizens in Stokesdale, which are all in District 3, now face.
Yes, sir.
So thank you for being here.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Thank you very much.